Yeah, fire
Thoughts on the
away.
game tonight?
Not have to
Well,
answer any questions about no longer having beaten Mercyhurst.
yeah, yeah. Like I said to their coach, though, I mean, it took us 30 tries, but it doesn't matter. So that's a good feeling. Obviously, even the G2 here tastes better when you get a W. But really, I think that the girls did a great job. Kind of disappointed last night, just kind of how we let it slip away. I mean, it was a close game till about 6, 7 minutes to go, and I think there was a lot of frustration. So, but they did a good job in processing what happened yesterday and not really dwelling too much into the past. But I think moving forward, they did a good job this morning in our team meeting, our video, and and we even said, regardless of what happens after the second period, regardless of what happens, going out in this third period and just give it everything you've got. Just manage the puck, block shots, get the puck off the glass and out. Do the little things well. And somebody's got to get the second one. If we get a third one for a cushion, just play to win, and that's what they did. So it's good to see, and now we just have to make sure we bottle that recipe, and regardless of who we're playing, and just recognize those are the things you have to do. Kind of weather the storm defensively, and that second goal, I didn't see it that well, but obviously that was a huge goal. Just momentum and confidence-wise, and nobody sitting on the bench doubting themselves. And it's nice to know that we didn't. That second goal was all we needed. Obviously the third and fourth goals were insurance goals. So that's a huge confidence boost to beat a good team, a top 10 team. I mean, they were 9-1-1 coming into the day, and so I think for all things considered. You got a lot of young players playing to grab that W and just learn what it takes to win a game against a real quality team. And now it's how we take it and move forward. It's just something that you got to take into practice on Monday and carry into next weekend. And we've got something now that you can always kind of pull back on and just recognize what it took to win a game like this and what it's going to take to get points in the future, and ultimately what it's going to take to win the CHA. And that's the team that's got a target on their back, and that's where we want to be.
How do you think you guys matched Mercyhurst's physicality?
We did a good job. I mean, for the most part, I think they're bigger than us, but I thought we did a real good job, and that's an area that we addressed last night after the game. I didn't think we pushed back very well, and that's just kind of a saying. I don't mean push back, so like after whistles, but when when they've got the puck, we need it to be more physical because they do a great job. They engage so well physically, and I think it's just we push back. We kind of fight fire with fire. I thought we went after them better. I thought, to be honest with you, not to be overly critical, but there were 3 or 4 calls that I thought the ref missed. That when they were just they took liberties with us, and I thought our kids did a good job of not retaliating or not letting it get to you. And we didn't try to focus on the bench, barking at the refs. Just get up. Maybe they'll call one the next time. And of course, that second goal was a power play goal, so that was huge. So the physicality part of it. I mean, I think that if anything, we kind of wore their D down. I think we got after them. They have big, strong defensemen, and I think some of our smaller, quicker players, put a lot of pressure on them, and I think they started throwing the puck away. So it's a different type of physicality, but just using speed to get after them. So I think it was in our advantage.
What are your thoughts on the special teams units tonight?
Well, the PK was awesome. I thought the PK did a great job, and once again, Gilly was our best penalty killer. But I think that, and that's good to see too, because they have a couple different looks. Their power plays are both totally different, and you have to adjust sometimes while you're out there. They might be changing players, and for our kids to recognize what they're doing and make sure, because there was kind of 2 different kills, and you had to be prepared, and you had to read and react off one another. So I thought our kids did a good job on the kill. And obviously, I don't know, it was a tic-tac-toe play, but the power play goal was a good one for us. And, for the most part, our power play is moving the puck pretty well on the perimeter, and we've got to fine-tune it, get either the shot from the middle, get people make a little give and goes down low, and we'll continue to work on that. But I thought overall, our special teams did a good job.
When you say you had 2 different penalty kills, do you mean lineup-wise or strategically?
No, strategically.
Okay.
Yeah. So because they have 2 different looks depending on who's out there, and you really have to make some adjustments. And so it's good to see that our kids were doing that they're paying attention. That's the cerebral part of the game, in terms of blocking shots and knowing what lane to go out into, or whatever switches there may or may not be. That's just that really thinking the game, and that's where we've been struggling. Thinking the game, and even you look back today when we had some miscues, it's when you overthink things and overhandle the puck, and I think we simplified things the second half of the game, and that was a big key for us.
And what were the 2 differences between the penalty kills?
Well, they rotate. They have a defenseman, which is Byrne. Everyone number 5, the big kid. She starts up top, and they roll from the half boards up, and Byrne just goes in front of the net.
Okay.
And so it's just a little bit of a different look. So that's all.
After the first goal, and given what happened last night, how do you keep the team, in the game mentally?
Well, that was really just no panic, don't panic here, and we're doing fine. I think if anything, a lot, we have to be cognizant or recognize on the bench that we can't be panicking or sending the wrong signal to the kids, and that's why I said on the outset here that they did a great job. Their mental preparedness was awesome. They were determined, and they were believing in one another and what we were doing, and I don't think that for once, and I said it to Brendan in the 3rd period, I said we're fine. Whatever happens here, there's no panic here, and just encouraging the kids to play. They were great on the bench, and so that's important too, because that's the part you guys don't see, and we're part of right there. We're privy to on the bench that there wasn't any get it out or any whining or just they were really supportive of one another in a real good way, good positive way.
What was it like waiting for the decision to come back?
That's I can't figure out what takes so long. But at any rate, so that's kind of painstaking, waiting, But so that's we just take it in stride, whatever.
What was it like being on the bench at the end of the game?
That was good. That was a great feeling. I hope somebody got a picture of the team going over the boards. I know Brendan had actually even said to me, he said, I hope we don't just go out there and act like we won the Stanley Cup, but in a way we probably should feel that way. But no, it was good. It's I guess a lot of relief. Of course, the freshmen, they've only played them twice. I don't know any better, but think about our seniors who have gone against them many, many times, only to either tie or 3 of the 4 games or 3 of the 5 games last year. We had a tie, 3 losses by a goal. Just to continually be frustrated, it eats away at you. So maybe we can shake free of some of that stuff and then just start anew and just, now we gotta, now we put a little doubt in their minds too. I think prior to today, they probably just always felt, well, we're going to beat them. And when you can play with a chip on your shoulder, that's pretty nice. And so now I think we've taken, a lot of that away from them. And so the next time we meet, obviously we've always talked about it's a real good, healthy rivalry between our 2 teams, and I think it continues. So that just adds a little luster to it, I think.
What was the mood in practice this week, and what were your main preparations? Seems blocking shots must have been a big focus.
Yeah, we actually didn't really change anything in terms of our systems, other than any week for whatever team's coming in or we're going to. You always prepare for their particular power play and then how they penalty kill. Their PK is tremendously aggressive, and so we prepared for that. And then you prepare for their looks in the power play. That's all. Their forecheck isn't anything we haven't seen before. It's pretty standard fare. And we did prepare to try to put pressure on their D, recognizing if we could put pressure on their D, that they'll probably cough it up. And but they're good. They're a hard-nosed, strong hockey team. They just keep the game simple and go hard. So they do a good job. So, but nothing different. Just a little bit of special teams adjustments.
Where does Mercyhurst rank among the teams you face this season, talent-wise, skill-wise?
Well, we've played Boston College, clearly the best team we've played. To be honest with you, they're on another level. I just heard they beat Northeastern today 6-1 without 5 or 6 players that are with the national team. So the U.S. is playing Canada tonight in the Four Nations Cup. And so BC is, we played them, they had everybody. They're on another level. So they're good. I think Clarkson doesn't have a lot of depth, but their top line is, their top two lines are as good as we've seen too. So so I would have to say, there's a group of teams, probably all those ties and, some close games for us that there's a lot of teams on similar, similar fashion in terms of depth. But those Clarkson and BC.
Would you still like to see some improvement out of the power play?
Well, yeah, we've got to keep getting better for sure. We got to crank up. We're really struggling with our percentage, so yeah, we've got to get better with that.
And aside from getting pucks on net, like getting those bounces.
Well, I think the big thing on the power play for me is that we force a lot of passes and we force shots, and that's where we're trying to get better. That's just patience, It's much like a quarterback throwing in a triple coverage or whatever. You just can't do that just because somebody's there. And I think when you have the power play, somebody should be open. So we've got to be more patient. And when there is an open, you got to move the puck quicker. And we've got to make tape-to-tape passes. But we really feel that we've got, the kids have a pretty good idea of what to do and where to be. And now it's just really, fine-tuning things. And, it'll come, especially when you have a lot of freshmen. We got 3 freshmen on the power play. In any given time, you might have a defenseman or 2. So, good job, Julie. See you. But at any rate, so, it'll come. We'll get better.
On Nicole Renault's first goal, what was I think it was a shot from the